Okay, then we go to the next order.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi hii. Ningependa kuchangia mjadala wa bwawa la maji ambalo Mheshimiwa Senator wa Kitui ameelezea kwayo kwamba ni muhimu serikali inaporatibu na kuweka mipangilio ya kuwekeza katika sekta ya maji iwahusishe washikadau wote, kwa sababu hao ndio chanzo cha rasilimali ambayo tunajadili sasa. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mwafrika ni mtu ambaye ana itikadi na historia yake. Na iwapo historia na itikadi zake haziwezi heshimika, ni dhahiri shairi kwamba huyu mtu hana thamani yoyote. Na ndio kwa sababu naunga Senator wa Kitui mkono. Ni lazima mababu waliotutangulia walipozikwa na palipokuwa na sherehe za kitamaduni, maeneo hayo lazima yapewe kipaumbele katika kufidia serikali za kaunti na jamii husika. Kuna sehemu za ibada ambazo lazima vile vile zishughulikiwe. Mheshimiwa Spika, mbuga za wanyama na uwekezaji katika kaunti hizi, Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima serikali iwape watu hawa kipaumbele. Na hatutakubali, ningeomba Mheshimiwa Spika upeane mwelekeo. Mawaziri husika katika sekta hii ya maji, kando na kujadili hoja ya Tharaka Nithi na Kitui na bwawa hili, kuna mabwawa mengine katika nchi ya Kenya ambayo yako katika mikakati ya serikali ya Kenya Kwanza. Lazima wawajibike, waelezee nchi na seneti ni mikakati ipi ambayo wataweka kuhakikisha kwamba changamoto ambayo watu wa kaunti ya Tharaka Nithi na Kitui wanapitia, kaunti zingine hazitapewa nafasi kama hii ya kuja na kutoa lalama katika jumba la Senate. Tharaka Nithi na Kitui ziwe kaunti ambazo zinapeana mwelekeo ya jinsi miradi ya serikali ya mabwawa ya maji na unyunyizaji mashamba itakavyokuwa inatekelezwa kutoka sasa na kwenda mbele. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Buru Oginga.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank my minority leader, Senator Wambua, for bringing to attention of this House the issue of the dam being constructed downstream the Tana River. Mr. Speaker, this is affecting the counties of Tharaka Nithi and Kitui. Mr. Speaker, the issues he has brought up of public participation cannot be gainsaid. These are very, very important issues, and we know, for instance, between at Sondu Soin Dam, between the county of Kericho and the county of Kisumu, there were issues of public participation. Their ancestral land which was being affected, and first of all there was a hurry to implement the project without consulting the people. And even the donors themselves who contribute to these projects are very sensitive when the people complain and when people say that they are not consulted and they don't know about the project, or the project is going to affect their ancestral land. Some of them have some very, very aesthetic values to the land and attachment to the land, which is where they are being removed, and they have to know exactly how they are going to be compensated. I know on this Sondu Miriu project, the people complained, and the Parliament of Japan stopped implementation of that project simply because of the complaint of the people that they were not consulted, and that the people downstream were going to be seriously affected by the implementation of that dam, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, it is therefore very important that we have public participation. I had a project in my own constituency when I was MP for Bondo on the Yala River, where a donor, not a donor, an investor was constructing a dam, but there was a method called contour, and there's another method where you dig deeply, so the dam goes deeper, but it takes a very small area. But when you do the contour, it expands in a larger area, Mr. Speaker, and therefore the people have access and their cattle can drink water from the dam. But the other method will deny the community the possibility of their dam, their animals having access, and their people having access to that water. Mr. Speaker, the people decided that they will have the contour method, but then the dam was now consuming much bigger area than they had contemplated, Mr. Speaker. So there must be proper planning, proper consultation, proper compensation for the people before a project of that size is implemented. We know the economic benefits the country is going to get from such a dam. First, it controls floods downstream. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, it can be used to produce electricity. And thirdly, Mr. Speaker, it can also be used to produce drinking water for the population. And fourth, Mr. Speaker, it can also be used as a tourist attraction, like the Aswan Dam in Egypt, Mr. Speaker, is used by Egypt. They are drawing water from our place, Lake Victoria, and they are using it to attract tourism in their area. They have big hotels constructed around, the boats going around there, and it is attracting a lot of tourists from the whole world going to see Aswan Dam, Mr. Speaker. So these dams can bring a lot of benefits, tourism, and other economic benefits to the country, Mr. Speaker. But they need to be carefully planned in full consultation with the people. Public participation must be stressed. It is very, very important, Mr. Speaker, and I support the statement by my leader, Senator Wambua. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chalgay, just 2 minutes, then 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support Senator Enoch Wambua and Senator Mwenda Gathayo more fire for bringing this issue. I'm happy that the people there are not objecting the construction of the High Grand Falls Dam that is between Kitui and Tharaka Nithi, but I've realized there is an abuse of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, because the salient features that Senator Wambua has raised is on the issue of non-compensation. Property rights under Article 40 is very clear that when you are doing compulsory acquisition of land, it must be paid within the market value and it must be prompt. If that one has not been paid, then GBM UK must tell us why. Number 2, Article 118 and Article 10 talks about the salient feature of a democracy called public participation. If it has not been done, what are they hiding? Are these night runners? Are they doing something they fear that the people might oppose, Mr. Speaker? They should do public participation, not as a privilege, to the satisfaction of the law. We are not saying they should see the senator of Kitui or Tharaka or leadership of anybody. We are saying let them follow the law as is and as is prescribed, Mr. Speaker. The third point, Mr. Speaker, I saw in Mwache Dam, and Mwache Dam had a lot of issues, Mr. Speaker, and the issue of ancestral land, attachment, sacred places, they were compensated for their graves. And they were given time in Mwache Dam to even relocate their graves, Mr. Speaker. Because when you go to South America, they don't bury the dead. They walk around with their dead as they wash and change after every year. So can the wishes of the people of Tharaka and Kitui be respected to relocate their graves? Mr. Speaker, you remember this issue we experienced in Nandi when they were relocating my people from Tindret to Kabiyet, and the Wazungus then told them, Mr. Speaker, that you go, the Aik, and the spirits will follow you, Mr. Speaker. So I support this petition. I hope when it comes, Senator Wambua and Senator Tharaka, please invite us so that we can have a conversation on this. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Abbas, must you really say something on this? Must you?
No, I'll add something.
Okay, just 2 minutes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first and foremost, I want to thank the Senate for Kitui. I think what he has brought up is actually a very important issue that impacts on many, many communities that's actually in the past experiences. Most of the projects like the mega dams like this one, which is being constructed, the public is rarely involved. It only involves few government officers. It involves few gatekeepers who call themselves the local leaders. And at the end of the day, the beneficiaries or the owners of the land are not compensated and have a lot of problems. Because there will be a lot of socio-economic issues that will come up. People, farms have been displaced. Grazing land is being displaced. So there are a lot of socio-economic impacts that we need to do before this dam is built, constructed, I mean. So I think it is very important to have the public participation, and the public should be informed, because most of our public don't understand the whole concept. They will just be told, oh, we are building a dam, we are doing this for your benefit, and then at the end of the day, the big dams like Michigan Dam or all these things, many people have been displaced, and at times these same people go without water. At times of drought, they don't even get services from those guys. The farms have been displaced, they are not being given any compensation. So they are almost, every project, that mega project comes, the public is actually displaced. One other thing is actually this same dam will have a lot of impact in the replica effect on the downstream people, where today we are saying so many farms have been destroyed, and these people have not been even involved. So I think what the senator is saying is actually we really appreciate, and there is need to at least go further and to challenge all those people who are involved in the things of government officers. You know what happened in SGR. There are so many people who have been told that the land will be compensated, and up to date they're waiting for the money. And that money has already been paid, and nobody has been compensated. With those few contributions, I want to support the statement. Thank you.
Senator Karunda Mbeth, 1.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving this opportunity to support the statement by my senator, my leader, Senator Enoch Wambua. Mr. Speaker, I will only speak on two things. One is on the compensation of the residents of Kitui and Tharaka Nithi. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have seen in other instances and other places where foreigners or people from outside the affected counties come and buy land in a specific area for them to be compensated, and the true residents or the real people who should benefit then are left out. This must be carefully handled to make sure the residents of Kitui and Tharaka Nithi are the ones to benefit. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, we know corruption is very ripe in this country, and we need proper mechanisms of implementation so that when the work is happening or taking place, real work is done, so that money is not paid and the work is not done, or maybe poorly done or substandard work, and then money will get lost. Finally, Mr. Speaker, allow me to speak on the benefits that will come from the High Grant Force Dam. As one of my colleagues, Senator for Siaya, has already alluded, that electricity, irrigation, and so many other benefits that come out of the project. This must benefit the real people of the two affected counties, and will also bring development to our country, great country, Kenya, but not to benefit those who have come as partners or those who purport to bring the PPP, and then they are the ones who have the greater benefits, but Kenyans are left languishing in poverty. I do.
Thank you. This project, Mr. Senator Wambua, you see, has really generated a lot of interest. And under 52.1, you know, this statement is just an interest or topic of concern. So maybe you can follow up so that the CS Water and Irrigation can come and update the Senate on the plans that they are doing on this particular project. It is in Tharaka-Nithi, but the whole ecosystem, including Wajir, Garissa, Meru, all that area will be affected by that big project. I'm told it is second from Aswan High Dam in Egypt. So maybe you can go that route so that the CS can come and update the Senate on this project.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for pointing me into that direction. Mr. Speaker, can I plead with the chair that you direct me to liaise with the PS for purposes of the PS appearing before the House to appraise the House on this matter.
The CS, not the PS.
The CS.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Speaker, if I could really ask you to direct that way, then it will make my work very easy.
I so direct.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The next is Senator Kenywa, Laikipia County. Absent, that statement is dropped. Next is Senator Karen Nyamu.
Mr. Speaker, I don't understand what is the excitement.
You should be happy that there is that excitement.
Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52.1 to make a statement on an issue of general topical concern and national importance, namely the state of the roads in the country. Mr. Speaker, the importance of roads in the day-to-day lives of citizens. Mr. Speaker, protect me from Senator Cherargei thumping and making too much noise with his feet. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, the importance of roads in the day-to-day lives of citizens cannot be overemphasized, as they are a critical infrastructure enabling ease of movement of people and goods. Unfortunately, many of our roads are in poor condition, characterized by large potholes, inadequate or non-existent road signs, and insufficient markings. The state of our roads has impacted users and the country at large negatively, most notably the increase in road accidents. Mr. Speaker, we acknowledge that while many road accidents are caused by overspeeding, reckless driving, loss of control by drivers, and drunk driving, as exemplified by the recent Mbagathi River accident where a Nairobi-bound Naboka Sacco bus plunged into the river, resulting in 9 fatalities, the dilapidated condition of our roads has also significantly contributed to numerous accidents across the country. And I take this opportunity to extend my condolences to the family of the Mbagathi River accident victims. Mr. Speaker, poor road networks in many parts of the country have led to job losses, wasted time, and increased operating costs. Despite the government's efforts to improve the transport infrastructure, some major roads remain in poor state. According to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, poor roads in developing countries hinder inclusive growth. Mr. Speaker, I believe that some of our roads can be redesigned in order to improve road safety. For example, the 21-kilometer stretch at Salga, once an accident black spot, saw a reduction in accidents by over 90% after a concrete barrier was constructed in 2018. Mr. Speaker, the government must develop tangible solutions to the challenges facing our road network, not only in Nairobi and major cities, but across the entire country. Roads are essential to meeting the needs of the Kenyan economy and the population at large. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, Kenya registered approximately 48 fatalities per 100,000 people. There is no reason why Kenya should not improve its road safety score by ensuring roads are designated and constructed with safety in mind. I urge the government to deploy all measures necessary to reduce road accidents, fatalities. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Now we go to the statements under 53.1. We start with I urge Senator for Kisumu County to read these two statements. First.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two statements. I will start with the statement on the state of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga grounds and the Victoria Park and the establishment of other parks in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Welfare regarding the state of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga grounds and Victoria Park, which were closed for renovation in 2020 and reopened in 2024 with slight modifications, as well as the establishment of other public parks in Kisumu County. Target 7, Sustainable Development Goals, SDG number 11, to which Kisumu County fully subscribes, requires that the county should provide universal access to safe, inclusive, accessible and green public spaces for all residents by the year 2030. In a statement, the committee should, Mr. Speaker, 1, provide a breakdown of the funds allocated for the renovation of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Sports Ground and Victoria Park in Kisumu County, a list of companies contracted to undertake the works, and table documentary evidence indicating whether the right channels of procurement were followed in awarding the contracts. 2, find the variance between the architectural designs and the completed projects, if any, stating any cost implications. 3, establish whether there are plans to allow traders to operate their businesses in the parks and the criteria to be used in allocating space to the state traders. And lastly, state any plans by the county government to develop similar parks and recreation spaces in Muhoroni, Nyakach, Nyando, Kisumu East, Kisumu West, and semi-sub-counties in Kisumu County, indicating the budgetary allocations and completion timelines for such projects. Mr. Speaker, sir, my second statement is on the state of early childhood development education, ECD, in Kisumu County. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the state of early childhood development, or ECD, centers in Kisumu County. Article 186 of the Kenya Constitution 2010, as read together with Section 9 of Part 2 of the 4th Schedule, devolves pre-primary education and child care facilities to the county government. Additionally, Section 5 of the County Government Act 2012 provides for the functions and powers of county governments, including the establishment, management, and regulation of ECD centers. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should, 1, provide an overview of the current status of all early childhood ECD facilities in Kisumu County, indicating rationale for building new ECD centers instead of completing the existing ones. 2, provide details of all teachers employed in each of the ECD centers in the county, stating their qualifications and remuneration, including any other benefits paid to them. 3, state steps the county government has taken to improve the quality of learning and training programs provided in ECD centers in the county. And lastly, establish the criteria used to determine whether which ECD projects are prioritized for completion and state measures in place to address the challenges faced in the construction of ECD centers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Minda Kibwana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My statement is on a fatal altercation involving Kenya Forest Service officer and the late Master Stephen Mwangi at Majimazuri in Eldama Ravine. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the circumstances leading to the fatal altercation involving Master Stephen Mwangi, a Form 3 student at Majimazuri Day School, and Kenya Forest Service KFS officers at Majimazuri in Eldama Ravine, Baringo County. In the statement, the committee should provide a detailed account of the events leading to the fatal altercation between Master Stephen Mwangi and Kenya Forest Service officers, including the actions that transpired before, during, and after the altercations. Number 2, disclose the status of investigations into the unfortunate incident, including the parties involved in the altercations and any preliminary findings or outcomes of such investigation. Number 3, give a review of the general conduct and protocols observed by KFS officers in executing their duties, particularly in matters involving public engagement and enforcing activities within the forests in Kenya. Number 4, elucidate whether there are many existing policies, guidelines, or training programs in place to KFS officers regarding engagement with civilians and conflict resolution strategies. And number 5, highlight measures being taken or proposed by the government to prevent similar incidents in the future with a view to improve accountability, ensuring the protection of citizens' rights during law enforcement operations. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mbete Montet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Request for a statement on the operations of the National Council for Nomadic Education in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the operations of the National Council of Nomadic Education in Kenya. In the statement, the committee should, 1, table a report of schools and programs per county founded by the council from 2015 to date. Number 2, provide details of the budget allocation for the council from 2015 to date, including any other funding by stakeholders and development partners. Number 3, state the criteria used in determination of the learning institutions under the council and the manner of implementation of the programs and whether there are any plans by the council to expand the program to cover learners in areas that were hard hit by recent floods. And finally, explain whether the council contracts companies to run the programs under them and also tabling a list of companies contracted and all specifics of the contracts. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Ladies are doing so well this afternoon. Senator Shakil Abdallah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Request for statement on transportation challenges along Lamu-Gariseni Road at Gamba, Tana River County. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transport and Housing concerning the recent flooding and transportation challenges along the Lamu-Gariseni Road at Gamba, Tana River County. On the statement, committee should, number 1, detail measures the government has implemented to provide alternative means of transportation, such as the deployment of Kenya Navy rescue boats in response to the limitation of small private boats which have proven unsafe, as highlighted by incidents like the Madogo boat accident at the Tana River. Number 2, explain the immediate measures the government has taken to ensure the safety of residents currently using private boats to navigate flood areas in Gamba. Number 3, state how the government is coordinating with local emergency services and disaster response teams to assist the affected population and ensure timely and effective transportation solution during the crisis, providing details on the nature of these collaborations. And number 4, outline the long-term infrastructure project being considered to ensure the safe transportation in Gamba, given the annual recurrence of the transportation challenges every year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Good. Senator Chalgai Samson, you have 3 statements. We will read them simultaneously.
Mr. Speaker, I'll try and read, and thank you. Request for a statement on the status of dam construction projects in the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the status of dam construction projects in the country. In the statement, the committee should, 1, provide a status update on the construction of Umar and Basada dams in Kitui County and Marsabit County, respectively, explaining any variation in the bill of quantities and or contractual commencement plus completion dates. Mr. Speaker, number 2, evaluate whether due process was followed in tendering and awarding of the contracts for the construction of the said dams. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, disclose the identities of the respective contractors and subcontractors, providing a breakdown of all payments made to each so far, along with the reasons for the payments. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, provide a status update on all other incomplete projects for the construction of dams in the country, provide a list of the respective contractors and the payments made to them so far. And finally, Mr. Speaker, on this statement, outline any actions taken against persons responsible for misappropriation of funds or irregular variation of the terms of contract for the projects, stating whether the committee could order a special audit of the projects by Office of the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, number 2, 2023-2024. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, revenue collection targets for the financial year 2023-2024. Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should, 1, state the measures that have been put in place by KRA to ensure that they meet their set target on revenue collection for the financial year 2023-2024. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, sir, state the reasons for the anticipated failure in meeting revenue collection target as reported by KRA, which has observed the tax collector is likely to miss the target by about Kenya shillings 300 billion. So, Speaker, number 3, provide reasons that led to the decline in pay-as-you-earn or payee collections totaling about Kenya shillings 72.3 billion, despite the Commission having applied new strategies. So, Speaker, sir, appraise the Senate on the systems that have been put in place by KRA to ensure tax compliance by all sectors and improve tax collection in the country. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, on this statement, state the measures taken by Kenya Revenue Authority to ensure tax evasion is eradicated, provide details of all pending major tax disputes, and state the amounts collected from the previous disputes. Mr. Speaker, and the final statement that all senators, I request they should listen to keenly, on the junior secondary school. Request for statement despite the industrial action. Request for the statement on the fair labor practice by the Teacher Service Commission, TSC, in the employment of junior secondary schools teachers, JSS. So, Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education regarding the unfair labor practices by the Teacher Service Commission, TSC, in employing duly trained and qualified teachers as interns in junior secondary schools or JSS. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should, 1, elaborate on any measures by the Ministry of Education as are taken to ensure full implementation of the competent-based curriculum, CBC, especially considering that the teachers are currently overwhelmed, poorly equipped, and unmotivated to implement the CBC. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, clarify why the Teacher Service Commission, TSE, continues to violate the rights of trained teachers by employing them as interns as junior secondary schools GSS and retaining them as such, which are over 46,000 for the second consecutive year, despite prior assurances of absorption on permanent terms, then proceeding to recruit new teachers without renewal of contracts of those currently serving as interns in our country. Mr. Speaker, number 3, state the reasons for the Ministry of Education and Teacher Service Commission, TAC, failed to comply with the Employment and Labor Relations Court judgment on petition number E223 of 2023, which found out that the JSS teachers were unfairly treated and discriminated against as they were denied the terms and conditions of service ordinarily enjoyed by trained teachers, explaining whether their terms, including medical cover and pension, will be improved. And finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, state whether the Ministry of Education has completed the process of interviewing teachers for promotion, explaining why Teacher Service Commission, TAC, failed to promote teachers who automatically qualify due to experience, including the junior secondary school teachers who possess similar training as other teachers in secondary school. Senator Samson Kiprotich Cherargei, as the Senator of Embu said. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, Senator Wakoli Wafula.
Asante. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the death of a pedestrian in a hit-and-run accident that occurred near Chabera Shopping Center in Nyamira County. In the statement, the committee should A, find out the circumstances leading to the death of a pedestrian, Mrs. Ruth Ayuma Inganga, in a hit-and-run accident by a vehicle registration number KCW 636W Toyota Axio near Chabera Shopping Center in Nyamira County. B, state the ongoing efforts by the police to apprehend the driver of the said vehicle for their arraignment before court of law. And C, inform the Senate of the immediate actions taken by the police at Chabera Police Post, where the incident was first reported, to ensure the arrest of the vehicle's driver. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Second statement, Honorable Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding the status of public land belonging to the county government of Bungoma. In the statement, the committee should A, provide details on the acreage and location of all parcels of land belonging to the county government of Bungoma, accompanied by the corresponding legal documentation that proves ownership. B, clarify whether the said parcels of land are being utilized effectively and for the designated purpose, and if not, state any plans to utilize them to the benefit of the residents of Bungoma County. C, table the report of the task force set up to identify grabbed land in the county by the then governor of Bungoma County in 2019 and provide a status update on the implementation of its recommendations. D, outline steps taken by the county government to reclaim all public land held by individuals. And E, outline any measures put in place to ensure adherence to the local physical and land use development plan in all public centers in the county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
That's the end of the statements. We go to the next order.
Order number 8, the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2023, division.
Next order, I can see we don't have the numbers for division.
Order number 9, the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill, National Assembly Bills number 44 of 2023, second reading.
So under number 9, I can see Senator Buru Oginga is interested to speak on it. Senator Oburu Oginga, we are on under number 9, the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill. If you are interested to contribute on that.
On order number 9.
Yes.
No, Mr. Speaker, I did not wish to contribute on that. I wanted to contribute on the statements, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Then where is the move around to reply? Because there is no other senator interested to speak on this. Or we defer to next. We defer to the next. We defer that bill to next week. Next order. Maybe. So next order, number 13. For yeah, then we.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole, the Gambling Control Bill, National Assembly Bills number 70 of 2023, division.
Next order, next order.
Order number 11, Committee of the Whole, the Tea Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 1 of 2023.
Next order.
Order number 12, Committee of the Whole, the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2023.
Next order. The one she's moving is 12. Okay. So I want to defer from order number 10, 11, and 12. So we go to order number 13.
Order number 13, the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 59 of 2022, second reading.
You can now move the bill, Deputy Majority Leader.
The Deputy.
It is the Deputy Majority Leader, the Principal Assistant.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the National Construction Authority Bill, National Assembly Bills number 59 of 2022, is now read and second time. Mr. Speaker, sir, the National Construction Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022, was published in the Kenya Gazette Supplement number 189 of 2022, dated 18th November 2022. The bill was considered by the National Assembly and passed on 6th December 2023. Thereafter, the bill was referred to the Senate for consideration. The principal objective of the bill is to amend the National Construction Authority Act, number 41 of 2011, to ensure women, youth, persons living with disability can have startup business and can apply to be registered as contractors under categories 6, 7, and 8, while being exempted from paying the prescribed fee. The amendment seeks to provide for the recognition of women, youth, and persons living with disability as marginalized groups and cushion them from the burden of paying registration fees. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the recent past, there have been initiatives to promote the inclusion of women, youth, and persons with disability in the business sector, including the enactment of the Public Procurement and the Disposal Act. This has been done with the focus on providing equal opportunities for employment and access to business opportunities for these groups. It's noteworthy that women, youth, and persons with disability are increasingly taking roles in the construction industry. By exempting these groups from the prescribed registration fees, it will help remove the financial barriers and encourage these groups to pursue entrepreneurship in the construction industry, ultimately leading to the development of more accessible and equitable infrastructure and building, taking into account the needs and perspectives of diverse groups. For this reason, the importance of the bill cannot be overrated. Mr. Speaker, sir, specifically Clause 2 of the bill seeks to amend Section 17 of the National Construction Authority Act to provide that women, youth, and persons with disabilities who apply to be registered by the board as contractors shall be exempted from paying the prescribed fee where the business is a startup venture, and further where the fee does not exceed 15,000 Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, sir, in concluding, the passage of the bill will contribute to a more sustainable and socially responsible construction sector. I therefore urge honorable senators to support the important bill. Signed by Senator Aaron Cheriot. I call Senator of Nandi to second.
Senator Chalgei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, as I second, I want to congratulate the Senate Deputy Majority Leader. He is taking over reins of power this week that his boss is not around. Mr. Speaker, This is a straightforward amendment. And I would have expected Senator Tabitha, not Mutinda, Keroche, to tell us, you know, she's one of the best entrepreneurs. And she's the one who prepares your favorite drink most of the time. So I would have expected her to give us...
Senator Mohamed Faki.
My learned friend Senator Gay, referring to Senator Tabitha Keroche.
Senator Gay, have your seat.
Referring Senator Tabitha Keroche as Senator Tabitha Mutinda. Yet we know Senator Tabitha Keroche and Senator
Faki, they are from UDA, they are entrepreneurs, they are married and what have you, and they are beautiful, all of them. So, Mr. Speaker, I think I can understand what Senator Faki is going through. Mr. Speaker, in seconding the bill, I would have expected, as I say, Senator Keroche, the distinguished senator of Nakuru and the future governor of Nakuru, to tell us what she has been doing, the magic she has been doing to build a multi-billion-dollar industry. She is one of the celebrated industrialists in this country, very industrious. She is a leader. She is one of the few senators, female senators. She is one of the few senators, female senators that were elected in this house. One on our side, because two actually, because Jubilee crossed over to the majority side, Senator Dulo, and the other side, of course, Senator of Machakos, Senator Kava Mama. So, Madam Speaker, she's among the few. And jokingly on the street, Mr. Speaker, they normally refer that county as Nakuru girls. Mr. Speaker, in supporting this amendment, the work of NCA can be seen. Although, Mr. Speaker, we have had many challenges with NCA. The most of the collapsing buildings. You saw the other day when the floods became too much, a building collapsed within, I think, is it the Nairobi metropolis? And lives has been lost. We have many buildings that are substandard, that are collapsing daily, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as even we push for this amendment, I want to challenge the NCA to do due diligence. Mr. Speaker, I think in future, when a building collapses, the NCA officials must be charged with manslaughter, because they are the ones who are approving these buildings. I remember when the Bunge Tower issue came up, we were discussing about certificate of occupation by public works. And these are public works and NCA work together. So, Speaker, as the supervisor of both the contractors and what happens at the construction site, Mr. Speaker, you are aware of the affordable housing program of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto. We are going to have enormous Kenyans, and I want to encourage young people, Mr. Speaker, it would not have been a better time for this amendment to come than now. Because one of the better bottom-up economic transformation agenda by His Excellency the President and our government is the issue of affordable housing. And we are encouraging, Mr. Speaker, young people to get to construction. So this amendment, Mr. Speaker, as they say in Bible, there are people like the sons of Issachar who knew times and signs. This is the sign to many young people and women that we have amended the law to give you a leeway to construct companies, to participate. That was viewed, Mr. Speaker, as an industry that was only exclusive for some individuals, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is construction of economic stimulus plans. The markets that we are building, even in Marimanti, even in Meru, Makutano, many other places, even in Nandi Hills, Kapsabet, Kabiyet, Monsoriat, we are building under economic stimulus plan markets. Even in Kaiboi, we are building economic stimulus plan of markets. It means